All right. Oh, warming it up. Can you warm it up, kids? I'm a bar. Vape Nash. Where's Vape Nash? Where's that Vape Nash at? Are they around? Oh, I have to scoot over here today? Well, fine. I'll scoot over here. Blah, 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 blah. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. Lion face? Lemon face? Ooh. Lion face? Ooh. Yeah, that's how you start a show. Yeah, this is the beginning. This is the load screen. You guys like the load screen? Everybody going. I'm going to make the load screen all super long. Do the intro. What's up, everybody? It's Friday. That means Alyssa's here. And I'm all super high. Why am I like all elevated? Let me, oh, I can't adjust myself that way. Am I zoomed in? Oh, that's my problem. I must be zoomed in. Oh, I'm zoomed in even more. Let's go like that. There we go. Now we're about the same size and sort of making sense when we're talking into the microphone. How's everybody doing today? Watch out on the I-5. It's bopper to bopper out there. It's chrome to chrome. Brake lights for days. Alyssa, do you got traffic report?
Oh, we're coming up on the I-5 and
Yeah, we got 1 minute of the hour here on the show. 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have Alyssa here today. We're going to talk about all sorts of nonsense and tomfoolery. And if you're here to specifically talk about something specific, well, we don't really do that around here. We talk about whatever we kind of feel like talking about because that's how we do it. Right?
But just in general, we do have fish in common.
Why are you leaning forward?
I don't know.
Scoot back, weirdo.
I'll get there.
Yeah.
Over there.
You're all weird.
You're weird.
I am weird. Yes. That's what I do. Okay, so today is Friday. We've had a lovely week. Who was first to the chat today? Nathaniel, Reaver, Ricardo, Alana, Dom, Bentley, Joel, Dave, Licks, It's Nature, The Fish Tank Barn, Dreams of Aquariums, 54 Punchy, Big D Smoke, Rumbost with a super chat of the Swedish Krone variety of how many days I've been sober for 1 penny for each day. Ha! 1,956. Cha-cha. Which is accurate. It's accurate because I was looking at my calendar today, and it is 1,956 days of sobriety, even though it doesn't seem like I'm a sober guy. I am.
Just goes to show you don't have to do drugs.
Oh, man. Condensation just dripped all over my crotch. Well, Alyssa knows I didn't pee my pants, so we'll be all right.
So if anybody asks, it's condensation.
It's condensation, guys. Don't worry about this. It's condensation. Or I guess I could just tell people like, oh, I was working on my fish tank and I keep splashing my crotch with water. Because of all the hard work, you see?
Yes.
Right. Yes, hard work. So what do we got going on this week? I really don't have an idea. What did I do as the title? Let's talk about a fish or something? Okay, that's pretty accurate.
Okay.
I know that we're going to jump into the Patreon questions here. The Patreon questions, comments, and or complaints. But there are no complaints, so I guess it's just questions and statements. Right?
Yes.
Boom. Hit the button. Our first post of the week comes from Jessica Thiergartner, which she's actually spelling it out for us now, which is very helpful.
It is very helpful.
It says, hey, Joel, sorry for not being on and listening in. I did buy a house. Yes.
Awesome.
Congratulations. We dig that. Love it the most. Right? Don't we? I think we love it the most. Wait, I have to go over here and make this. I got to make this a little bit smaller. Sorry, guys. It's a little awkward. There. So congratulations on buying a house. That's awesome. It's good stuff. We all know how much of a pain in the buns that is, and my son is in high school and means me getting up earlier. tired and busy equals exhausted. And no questions, just checking in with a partial pic of the Mondo herd of shrimp. Let you know when I'm done moving in. All right, thanks for checking in. And, where are these comments and stuff coming from? They're coming from the Patreon, and that's how this whole show is like. That's how this even happens at all, right? As you guys know, on Monday, we had some brand new patronizers. Thank you very much for coming on board. And I think one of the big parts of that was the explanation of, hey, how are we ever really going to get... So there's two sides of the coin here. It's like, how are we ever going to get sponsorship in order to be able to do enough projects, right? That would be equatable to like doing enough projects to be like, let's make a bunch of YouTube videos out of them, right?
Right.
I know I recently have had some people approach me and they're like, hey man, I want you to be able to do a show, like a 1 hour show 5 days a week again. Cause I used to do that. I did that.
Yep. I remember that actually.
And, it became incredibly difficult to do that while also doing work at the same time and stuff. Even though I basically gave it a shot and did the workarounds and all that kind of stuff. But, there's a reality now that I have a kid, we have a house, we have all this stuff we got to pay for in life. And if we ever wanted to get to that, we got two avenues that we got to go down. It's either one, there's so many people on Patreon that it's like, okay, I don't have to go out in the field and, like put in a new drain for somebody's house, right? And literally dig a hole in the ground and put the pipe in there and sanitize everything that I owned.
I mean, someone's got to do it.
It's true. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'll keep doing it. That's fine, right?
Right.
Or we got to get some kind of sponsorship going on around here. And a good point that was brought up this week was that Netflix and chill. Netflix, and I want to look this up. Netflix. Oh, that's with an X, right?
Yep.
Options. What's it called?
The Big Bang Theory.
Right?
Yes.
And they're said to have optioned the Big Bang Theory, right? Which, whether you like that show or not, okay, I get it. I understand that maybe you like it. I'm not a huge... I mean, I get it. I get why people like it. I'm not a huge fan personally, but I think they optioned the Big Bang Theory for $425 million, I think, is what it was.
And it's okay if you like it.
3 days ago, NBC Universal, not Netflix.
Oh.
Paid around $500 million for the rights to stream The Office, right? Okay, Warner Media reportedly spent $425 million acquiring the rights to Friends.
From Netflix?
I think Friends is owned by Disney now, I think. 2 days ago, The Big Bang Theory for $1 billion. This week, Netflix paid a reported $500 million for streaming rights to haul 180 episodes of Seinfeld. This came on top of the estimated $425 million the company already paid for Friends. And the discussion is for The Big Bang Theory right now. Okay, so that's where the 425 came from. 425 million for Friends, 500 million for The Office, 500 million for Seinfeld, right?
Yeah.
So they're thinking it's going to be $1 billion for The Big Bang Theory, which
At that point, it's not even real money.
I personally find it to be insulting. I find it to be personally insulting in the fact that, like, $425 million, right, could option, like, 400 shows from somebody like me, right? Like, they could find 400 people that are making shows already and sponsor their show, right?
Yeah.
You could have, like, 400 new somethings, right?
Right.
But people want to watch reruns of stuff that's not even being made anymore, right? I find that to be insulting, but so we're currently at the part where we either have to fan fund this thing or we have to try and get sponsorship, and it seems to be a muddied water. And I don't know why I got on this wild tangent, because I just can't really bring the thought together to have it really be a cohesive thing that I was talking about. But you get what I'm saying, right? I think people get what I'm saying.
Right.
We're able to be here, the amount that we're able to be here because of, like YouTube has instituted this membership thing. And I think I have like a piece of dry skin right here. And I could see it on the camera.
Do you need to duck off
right
camera for a second?
See that right there on my nose?
Yeah,
It's all dry.
Yep.
It's all dry. And it's like reflecting light weird. I thought it was a booger, but I think it's just dry skin from so much boogers, you guys. I feel like I've been sick forever, and I realize I got sick, I got super sick, and I've been getting better, and it's been 1 week. I'm like, I feel like I've been sick like my entire life. It's
Right.
like, oh, it's really only been 1 week, but it's been miserable, and I'm tired of boogers and coughing and stuff. It's just nuts. But as you guys know, that YouTube is turning into sort of a membership platform. That's kind of what's happening, and I'm very appreciative of the 82 people that have become members on YouTube. It's pretty much how things are working now, and I don't necessarily, I'm not a huge fan, so I'm trying everything that I can. I'm trying to go down every avenue to get sponsorship. And believe you me, guys, like if I could let you in on some of the conversations, the email threads, all that stuff that I've been down to try and get even a company just like Netflix to be like, yeah, we need like 80 grand or something, right? Like, and they'd be like, no, we spent $400 million on a show that aired 25 years ago. Right?
Yeah.
You're kind of just like, what? All right. But hopefully at some point in time, we'll be able to get over a little bit of a hump and just continue getting better and better. But I do have to lament to the fact that I was looking at some of the old stuff that I made, and after years of just incrementally working on stuff, it is getting better. So that's the thing that I look at as the really bright point, is that because of people becoming members, because of people, because of people being on Patreon and stuff like that, it has just been able to incrementally like get a new microphone after a couple months, be able to get a new camera after like 6 months or something, be able to go on trips and stuff and be able to try and document things. And I'm really looking forward to this trip to the Netherlands, Vivarium, which is a convention there. Anybody's welcome to go to Vivarium. Like if you're in Europe or like me, not in Europe, you could fly there, go check it out. To be real honest with you guys, came out to be about $1,100 for me to go. That's not bad, right? Altogether. So with like
Yeah, that's
food
not bad
and
at all.
food and housing and an extra bag on the plane, and we had to go through the slight upgrade because I was going to have a layover in Iceland, which I was really excited for. Because it was like a 4-hour layover, which is like just enough time to cruise around the airport, maybe get some pictures outside or something like that. And then just be able to have said like, well, I landed in Iceland this one time and it looked really cool out the window, so we should probably go back. Right. And just be able to have that feather in the cap kind of deal. But, I actually had to change and kind of do a bit of an upgrade and move to a different airline. So the ticket price actually went up a little bit, but still, after everything, after all the taxes, all that nonsense, it's about $1,100 to go. So it's pretty good. Brian P says, I know KG Tropicals last night was talking about some YouTube changes. I don't know what that's about. So I don't know why I read that comment out loud. I don't really have much to comment on it. I don't know. I guess I could ask John and see what it was about after the show. Because I guess I could message him right now. That'd be weird, though. Johnny Boy says yes. Highlight for a 20-gallon cube. Is he asking? What's he asking about?
Oh, so he was wondering what our favorite lights for nano aquarium would possibly be. And so I asked him if it was like what the shape of the tank was, what kind of plants he was trying to grow in there. And he said 20-gallon cube, highlight plants. And so I told him I recently set up a 15-gallon cube, which is just a little bit smaller, and I put 2 of the Fluval nano lights over it.
Right. So it really, so let's see, a 20-gallon cube is what, 16 inches?
I think 18.
18?
Oh no, that's 25 gallons. So probably 16 inches.
Yeah, probably 6.
It's
I
just
think
like
it's
an
like
inch
16.
or 2 bigger.
I think it's like 16 or something like that. So he's saying, okay, something cheaper. Yeah, because those, like 2 of those Fluval nano lights would be good because you have 2 over yours, right?
Yeah, and I mean, okay, I understand. Like for me, I had one from like last year or whatever when I had a 7-gallon cube, and then I took an aquascaping class at the Aquatic Gardeners Association in May this year. And the tank that you got with that class was the 15-gallon cube, which is of course bigger than the 7. So I got rid of the 7. And it came with another one of those Fluval nano lights. So I just was like, well, 2 lights.
Just combine the 2. Our powers combined.
Right. Well, because it wasn't making my Alternathere Reneckiae Mini that deep burgundy with just the 1 light. So I talked to Bentley. I was like, what do I do?
Oh yeah.
Why does this suck? And he's like, oh, it just needs more light. And I said, I have more light.
Right.
So yeah, but now
the Fish Tank Barn says John was talking about the Child Protection Act stuff. Oh, the COPA.
Man.
Anybody that's watching this show and you're freaking out about the COPA laws that are going to be going into effect and things that are happening on YouTube because of COPA, stop thinking about it, stop talking about it, other than the fact that it's required and it has to be done. Because if you're talking about Hollywood, if you're talking about movies, film, TV, commercials, magazines, any of that stuff, there are child protection laws in place. They can't work a certain amount of time. The parents can't get the money, right? You can get I believe, like, it might be wrong, it's between like 8 and 10% of what the child makes to help take care of the child's cost of living or whatever, right? But you can't, that money all has to go into a trust, all that kind of stuff. In YouTube, it doesn't. So those of you out there that really want to protect, with air quotes, somebody who's making a ton of money on YouTube with their kid, like opening presents or opening boxes of stuff from sponsored things, those parents have full access to that money, right? Now, I'm not saying any of those specific parents or anything like that are bad people, right? Because I don't know any of them. I don't know what's going on. But there have definitely been some horror stories about certain groups of people that are doing that stuff. There's no protections in place, and those protections are going to go in place because it's law, and it's good. And if, by the way, if AdSense goes down a little bit, who cares? Like, AdSense isn't very much money anyhow. It just isn't. It just is. They do not give you the same share of money that they really should, you know? So, like, I would just leave it alone. John Boy is wondering about other suggestions for light. I would say, like, the Stingray. I think there's a Stingray, the Stingray 2, right? I think there's a Stingray 2 that's small enough.
I know there's like a Phoenix clip-on.
The Planet Plus.
Yeah, the one that I think the co-op sells. I was just kind of looking at it, which I'm thinking of trying for this tank that I got that's, what is it, like 16 inches long by by 6 inches by 8. It's real small. It's this real small, real low, real thin
Right.
tank, and I just need to grow some water sprite in it. I don't know if I would call it a super bright, but it's got to go through some black water.
Yeah, that's true. It's got some tannins in it. It's like a little bit.
It's dark. It's like coffee black right now. I'm thinking I might have to thin it out.
It's so wacky.
I didn't post it anywhere.
Post
the
it up.
public. I posted on the Discord. I didn't post it to the Patreon or anything.
Oh, you've been to the Discord?
I have been to the Discord.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we and Alyssa has been an integral part of. So what we've done is we opened up a Discord, and I think people are a little bit confused as to what a Discord is when we say that. So Discord is a separate server that's like an IRC chat, basically, an internet relay chat that is, we find to be quite useful. It's great for a community. Mm-hmm. It's a great opportunity to interact with. Hold on, I was actually making a link for John Boy here, and it actually, for some reason, made the giant link. So I got a shorter one here, but here is the link for the clip-on Phoenix Planet Plus. There's a Planet Plus clip-on, and then there's a Stingray. If you're looking for a cheaper option, those work pretty well. The Phoenix Stingrays are, I think, the smaller ones. They have a clip-on one that is kind of smaller, but they have a 16-inch one that's like $40. So you could probably get 2 of those, and that would be plenty for a small cube like that, even with just high lights. Just bear in mind, to anybody out there that is going to LED lights, visually, LED light will visually trick you into thinking it's not as bright as it actually is. You know, our eyes just don't pick it up as well as it would other light sources. So, you know, if you had a ton of fluorescent light on you, you're like, wow, that's super bright. But it might be the same photosynthetic amount of light for the plants, right? But it just looks not as bright to you. So even if you got 2 of those, I would start with 1, let that run for a couple of weeks, then turn on the next one to go up to 2. Don't just start out with 2. It's going to be a lot. You'll probably get a lot of algae and crazy nonsense going on in that tank. But 2 of those, and you'll be fine. You could grow just anything.
I don't know. I feel like you could just do what I did and like blast it completely and put like 20 bubbles per second of the CO2 through it, and just like lots of fertilizers, and just shove all those root tabs in there and just see what happens, and eventually be like, man, I need some snails.
You're like, dudes, I need so many snails. It's not even funny. It's pretty good. So we were talking about the Discord there for a second. It's like an IRC chat. It is available to the members, and it's available to the Patreon people. It's a great little community, and it's definitely, I think it's usable. I think even for people that, I think even for some of the people that are kind of skeptical about it, that they do realize that, like, oh, it's a 24-hour community that's sort of curated by the fact that, like, it's a smaller community space that people can ask questions and get answers for. You can post pictures and stuff like that, and it's just overall, we're finding it to be a fun little community thing, and we're gonna keep doing it. So, but Alyssa's been a big part of helping out, moderating that and stuff, and yeah, appreciate it.
Here, I'm posting last minute to the Patreon, so that people can see my black water tank, if that can even possibly happen.
I'll have to.
I know, I'm being a pain in the rear.
I don't know if we could trust you. But our next post is from Mike Howie, who is the Fish Tank Barn.
Heck yeah.
Here's the blues, here's the yellows, and let me scroll down to the text so that I can read it. New fish for the fish tank barn. Says, ordered for the first time from the wet spot. Or he ordered for the first time from the wet spot. The wet spot is essentially a local fish store down in Portland, Oregon that does a great job of shipping fish. They have all sorts of crazy fish that you could be looking for. I definitely trust them. That's the first place I would go to if I was going to order fish online. Whether their prices are perfect or not, I don't know. You know, people have a tendency to tell me that, like, well, I found those cheaper on Aquabid, you know, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, when we're talking about critters and ordering things like that, I don't necessarily need the perfect price. I need the good fish, and
I just
I
need
know
them
that I'm
to
gonna
show up alive and healthy.
Yeah, want them to show up. Want them to be the actual fish that I ordered. Nothing like that. Oh,
My thing won't interact with those.
what was that weird sound?
What? This?
Yeah, what is that?
You'll
Is that
never
ghosts?
know.
Is it ghosts?
No.
Oh my god, ghosts. I think that must have been your cup.
Yes,
Wasn't it?
it
Oh,
was in
okay.
fact my cup scooching along the desk.
Okay, good.
Or it was ghosts. The ghosts were moving the cup along the desk
It's a
and
good
making
point.
that noise.
It is a good point. It probably was ghosts, wasn't
Yep.
it? Yeah. But that, yeah, so the wet spot, I don't have anything to do with that company. That's where I go if I need to order fish and have them delivered.
Yep.
Right? Online ordering.
Yep.
That's pretty much the spot, if you know what I'm talking about. So, that's the spot, the wet spot, right? I don't know if I'm supposed to say what their wholesaler is, but they have a huge,
specifically the wet spot in Portland.
they have a huge wholesaler that's attached to the company, as far as I know. I don't know. Maybe the retail is separate, but I know that they're also in cahoots with a large wholesaler. That's why they're able to supply so many good fish, so much variety, all that kind of stuff. And they do a great job shipping. And for me, like last time I ordered for them, it was only $10 to ship because they're coming from Portland up to Tacoma, so it's not far.
Really? It was $30 for me.
Well,
Oh well.
you're not as cool as me. You gotta
It was
become,
still cheaper than
gotta
me
become-
driving down there to pick up the fish personally.
if you become cooler, like me, like super cool, bruh. Maybe it'd only be $10, but it's been a while since I ordered, so
Just need
maybe
to slick my hair back.
maybe that's the problem.
Shave up the sides.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to be antagonized by the likes of you. All right.
out, beard.
What did he order? He ordered ordered 6 blue and 6 yellow
Guppies.
Melanzona.
Is that a different kind of guppy?
I have attached a picture above. Looking forward to these fish coloring up and seeing the fry that they produce. I know that I've read the description right here, the Latin name. I've read it before. I can't say it out loud. I'm trying to figure out what guppies these are. Do we know? Are you looking it up? No?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing them color it up too.
Right. I'm hoping that Mike decides to share those photos with us when they do color up, because
Those are cool. They look kind of like a little variant of an Endler, you know?
Which is, Endlers and guppies are very similar.
Yeah.
Apparently they used
Why
to
are you
think they were the
antagonizing me
same.
today? Why are you being mean? Stop being mean to me. Ghosts. Must be ghosts. If the ghosts have gotten inside you. But our next post is from Johan. We got our fish of the week. If you guys don't know, Johan always shows up and posts onto the Patreon our fish of the week, which is rad.
Yeah.
And I very much appreciate it. And I can't wait to go check out his fish room because Johan lives in the Netherlands. and I'll be going to the Netherlands, right?
Yeah, which is awesome.
And I'll be hanging out with Johan.
Could take some selfies
Shelfies?
with Johan.
Shelfies?
Be like, click, click.
Shelfies? Yes, we're going to take selfies probably.
Yeah.
But one of the things that's really cool is like almost always the fish of the week is a fish that he keeps or has kept, which is pretty impressive when you get down to it.
Yeah. Go there and take pictures of all of his tanks.
So the fish of the week this week is the threadfin rainbow fish, or featherfin rainbow fish is the only species in the genus Therina. I don't know how to say that one. It's characterized. I've always heard the threadfin rainbows is what I've always heard them called. You know, like I just never even bothered on the Latin on this one. I had a buddy that lived with me that had kept these, but I've never personally kept them myself. It's characterized by long, beautiful fins and is among the most attractive of the rainbow fishes. It is native to freshwater swamps and demersal or thickly vegetated areas of flowing waters in tropical northern Australia and New Guinea, which, by the way, I do have to tell you guys, Heiko Blair posted a post about being able to possibly go on a trip, a collecting trip, right?
Mm-hmm.
To Papua New Guinea.
That'd be cool.
Very much trying to figure out how to do that because I would love to go on a collecting trip with Heiko. That'd be pretty rad. And Papua New Guinea is somewhere I definitely want to go. And I definitely do not want to go there with somebody who has not been there before. Whereas Heiko's been there lots of times. He knows what to look out for, and you got to stay safe. That's one of the countries where, you know, I don't know that I would bring my daughter, you know?
I don't know that I would bring a very small child to a strange foreign country and go tramping around in the forest with her.
Why not?
I want to be able to know at a glance, like, hey, don't mess with that spider.
With
hey,
the what?
Don't roll around in those bushes. You know?
You should probably just know to do that as a parent anyhow.
Right. So I would want to know that. That's why I wouldn't go to a strange foreign country where I wasn't familiar with everything automatically.
Why not?
Like I said.
It should pretty much just be a rule of thumb that, like, if you're tromping around in the forest, to, like, not be rolling around in those bushes over there.
Right.
Right.
I agree with you.
Like, as a parent.
Children
right?
have a tendency to do random things.
So do adults.
True. But we can just point and laugh at them. You have to take care of the children.
Not if they die. You can't just point and laugh at somebody who died. I mean, you can if you're a bit of a psycho.
An argument could be made.
Oh, Joel Gillett's just going to keep saying, don't go to Papua New Guinea. Okay. Well, I want to go there. So, and Gillett wants to lecture me on Messenger. Yes, it's not like Papua New Guinea. It's not like private. It's not like private information that, like, it's very dangerous to go there. Yes, it's dangerous to go there. I still want to go. I'm well aware. But like I was saying, it's a country that I probably wouldn't take Olivia with me. I don't want her to get arrowed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
By Trogdor, the Burninator. Trogdor! Anyhow, in Aquaria, they are usually peaceful. They live preferably in groups of 6 or more. Because of their long fins, they should obviously be kept in a tank without fin nippers. They breed best in tanks without other species. The male courts the female by posturing in front of her, repeatedly quickly raising, then lowering the forward dorsal fin. Because of their tiny mouths, they can be difficult to feed. They do well with live foods such as baby brine shrimp and larval diets. They prefer water that is soft to moderately hard, slightly acidic in the pH of 6 to 7, and with a temperature of 23 to 29. This time, it was very difficult to take the picture. Yes, this is also a picture that he takes the picture too, right? That's you got to give some props on that whole situation. It's pretty wild.
An awesome photo.
All right, now I have to reload the Patreon, and hopefully whatever Alyssa posted is reasonable. Oh, we have a post from Rumbust.
Right, you can still do Rumbust.
Oh, I still got to do this one. Rumbust, who's the only super chatter of the day, I think, still, right? Yeah, I figure Alyssa will tell me if somebody pops up with a crazy super chat. But Rumbust sends us in. It is a black ruby barb fry. Is it weird if I say it like that?
It is, but that's okay.
Didn't think I had any. The parents danced all day 2 weeks ago. I then moved them to another tank and looked for fry. The first week, sources say 24 hours to hatch and another 24 to be free swimming. I was almost going to put the parents back today when I spotted fry. I've now spotted at least 3, might be more. I don't know for certain. I hope for a dozen or 2 fry, but 2 parents plus 3 fry. That's more than double what I had, and I'm hoping there's another fry or 2 hiding from me.
That's exciting.
This is one of those things that, like, I don't know how many times I've been like, oh, man, they didn't breed. And then 3 weeks later or a month later, I'll find, like, an adolescent swimming around the tank and be like, I have never had anyone that small. What's going on here? And then you start to realize, like, oops, I guess I did have fry and wasn't really taking care of them all that well. So I find that it's better to have spotted one and then just treat the tank like you have more than you think, because they're super hard to find, especially over the years of breeding crystal shrimp. Those little babies are hard to find in a big tank. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, there's not any babies in here. And then I would get out like a macro lens and start looking around with a light, so I'd shine a light like this direction and look with the lens, see what's going on. I see like little shadows would pop up, and then eventually you'd be like, my old man eyes, I can't see in there. Oh, there's babies. And then start to realize like, oh, there's babies all over the place in here. So, around the years and years of doing that, I started to just assume that there'd be fry if I ever saw one, and just treat the whole tank like I had a bunch of fry in there and make sure that it's being fed and stuff. Alyssa Bentley sends this one in. If anybody knows who Alyssa is, give her a shout out. Her tank looks like you've been brewing summer tea in it or something. Do you got sun tea in there? Is that what's happening?
No,
What is going on?
It's
only 6 inches.
Yeah, it's only 6 inches front to back.
Oh my god. I was like, oh, that's probably like a 20 or an 18-inch tank. Nope, right there it says 6 inches front to back.
Yep. It's so I'm trying to set up a long low tank for my Beta Mahachiensis pair, and they want tannin hard water. So I guess they come from like coastal swamps, and so I've got oregonite there on the bottom, and I just boiled some leaves and sticks and alder cones and stuff, and just brought out all this tea. It actually smells pretty good. It smells like rooibos to me. And poured it in there, and it was just kind of tanniny at first, but over the past couple of days it's turned into coffee essentially. It's pretty exciting.
It looks like sun tea. Looks like you got sun tea going in there.
It's so thick. Like you can see through if you like stand up, because it's at eye level to me. So if I stand up and look through it, I can see the goldfish tank behind it.
Plus with like some kind of crazy spotlight.
Essentially, yeah. So I think I've overdone it a little bit with the tannins. There's no fish in there yet. I'm still,
It's a little rich. What is the water test coming out like?
I haven't done any of that. I just put it
Oh.
together, and I'm gonna probably test it and see what's going on.
You're gonna have to do some testing so we would know.
Yeah.
'Cause you'd be like, I don't know what's going on in there. It's just
Right. There's
I'm
no
making
way
some
I would
tea.
not scoop them out of the tank that they're in right now and just plop them in without.
just making some of that sun tea. you
Yeah.
know?
Just like, here you go, guys. They'd be like, oh, God. No. Why are we here? We need to escape.
Yeah. It's kind of the key, right?
Right. I'm like, no. That's not what I want to have happen. I want them to like it and then make babies.
Like it, make babies, make beta babies. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Little babies. I don't know. I like them. I like them so much. The fact that you can have a pair living together and they don't murder each other. It's awesome.
Oh, so John Boy it says no easy green in Germany. I'm wondering if he's actually in Germany. That's his confusion with the lights and
Could be.
stuff. Well, thanks, Alyssa, for sending that in.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd share people.
I like the sharing. Sharing is caring. I think we all know that. We all know that sharing is caring, and that rhymes, so it must be true, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Once
If it-
just add a rhyme in, then you know it's the truth.
Or if it's alliterative.
Alliterative?
Mm-hmm.
What are you trying to say?
Alliterative and acclamative. I don't know.
Alliterative?
Alliterative.
With an A?
Yeah. Where all the words in the sentence start with the same letter.
Oh, you mean alliteration,
Yeah.
right?
But so if the saying is alliterative,
Alliterations.
sure.
The occurrence of the same letter. Oh, yeah, I hate alliteration, so that's why. That's why. I hate that. I don't like it when people do that.
Okay.
That feels disingenuous to me. Like, that feels like you're being dishonest.
Okay.
If all of the words begin in the letter A, then it's just like, this is not how you do this. But if it rhymes, right, then it's legit,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think that's how that works.
Well, now I know that's how it works for you.
No, that's how it works. That's fact.
Fact.
Fact. How much did they pay for The Office? $500 million, guys. Ridiculous. I can't even get $500 in a sponsorship. It's a fight, guys.
What?
We shall continue.
Yeah.
We shall continue on, and hopefully one of these lame companies will sponsor, and then we can be like, oh, they're not lame anymore, right?
Johnny Boy was asking what the best red plants are.
Get that Dennerle light. That's the light I would get if I was in Germany.
Oh, does Dennerle have a cool light?
They have
Because
a
that
cool-
would be sweet.
They have a cool nano light, and I know that Chris Lukaup and Volker both use them, and they both testify behind the scenes that they work well. So I would say that normally means that, like, yeah, they actually do work, right? In
Yeah,
secret,
probably.
private conversations.
I
right?
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
If Chris Lukaup says so.
What do we
it
got
must be.
here? Yeah, must be, right? Truth. Adam Wing says, can red cinder substrate increase GH? My GH is rising consistently, in my 30-gallon bathroom tank. Why is it a bathroom tank?
Maybe it's just in the bathroom.
It is the only tank doing it. I'm using conditioned RO water. I never top off with conditioned water. Chances are, yes. I mean, volcanic rock can easily have all sorts of stuff in it. You know, it's naturally occurring product, and you know, it's that same conversation about the pumice thing. You know, it's like some people are like, yeah, but that's high quality pumice. You're like, how are you verifying that? It's like, oh, I put it under a microscope and it's got like lots more holes than this other pumice I got. And you're like, are you a geologist? Are you a volcanologist? Who are you? And they're like, I'm Guy from over here. I'm like, okay, yeah, just calm down.
Right.
You know, and one of those things is that with a naturally occurring product, you could definitely end up with some variance in how it reacts with water. You know, I mean, oxygen, water, they're reactive chemicals, you know, so the air that we breathe is a reactive chemical. The water that we drink is a reactive chemical. So sometimes you can get some interesting things, especially from lava rock. It's one of the reasons that I just generally don't utilize lava rock anymore, mainly because you're not really sure exactly what it's going to do. Then also you can end up, it gets really clogged up and kind of nasty and hard to clean. So that's one of the big detractors for me, is that, like, aesthetically and for the health of the tank, I don't want all that stuff being caught and collected up in an area that it's not going to get utilized, right? You know, bacteria is going to help break it down, but, you know, if we're talking about a planted tank with these, like, large nooks and crannies that are just kind of full of doo-doo and stuff, it's not exactly the best thing for that environment. So JH Aquatics, Mr. Joseph, says he's going to start setting up a bathroom tank so that he doesn't have to read the newspaper in there anymore. I mean, that's a thing, I guess. I don't want a bathroom tank in the bathroom, mainly because of poo particles.
Yeah.
Most people don't realize that the seat also has a cover, you guys. The toilet seat also has a cover, right? Does anybody realize that the seat up and just the seat down are both wrong? They're both equally as wrong as far as a toilet's concerned.
Dude,
Do
I have a
people realize
whole
that?
rant about this.
Do people realize that?
Do you know what's
They're
disgusting?
like, oh, he left the seat up, and I'm like, you left the lid up.
Do you know what's really disgusting, though?
Because the lid is what's supposed to be down. The seat and the lid are what's supposed to be down. They're both supposed to be down.
When people leave,
So you'd be like,
the
oh,
lid
I just
up.
went in there and I pooped and peed, and I'm a girl, so I left the seat up, and then I flushed, and then the poo particles sprayed all around the bathroom and got on your toothbrush.
Right. When people have the lid up, and they also have their toothbrush sitting in a puddle of, like, gross toothpaste nastiness, just sitting there on the side of the sink because they haven't even rinsed it out after they brush their teeth, which is, I don't understand that either. And then they're flushing the toilet and it's just spraying poo all over oh my God, I don't understand people and their freaking electric toothbrushes that don't go anywhere because they can't fit in any drawer, and they don't fit in the medicine cabinet or anything.
I mean, I leave my toothbrush out because I don't care.
Ugh, so gross. And then you wonder why you get E. coli poisoning or something.
But I put the lid down when I flush.
Well, at least that does help a lot. It cuts back a lot, but still.
Where do you put your toothbrush?
In a drawer.
In the garage?
In the drawer.
In the garage? In the attic?
If I had an attic.
I throw it out in the yard. Right?
I don't even have a yard.
Because of birds. Birds are going to steal your toothbrush. Man, it's weird.
Darn birds.
But yeah, so I don't think I would have I don't want a bathroom aquarium. No, I don't. No. I literally want I think I'm sort of torn right now. That
sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, see this show was going fine, and then Alyssa just took a hard turn. But I'm sort of torn between the idea of not really having any fish tanks in the house at all, because, like, as Alyssa knows, I don't have any in the house at all here.
Right.
I really I realistically am kind of at the point now where I would like to have the, all the tanks that I maintain in the makerspace, basically. The makerspace is something that we definitely want to do. That's been the main goal here, is to be able to set up the makerspace, which would be a potential a public space that people could come to that has the tanks in it that you guys see on YouTube, where we do the show from, where we do a lot of the instructional videos and stuff like that, and continue going forward with that kind of stuff and creating that kind of content. But it has become a real bear to try and get somebody to get that funded, to get that sponsored or something like that. It's, but I'm really torn to the point of, like, I don't know, unless I had a tank set up that was really, like, not necessarily automated, but like all of the maintenance, you just don't have to go anywhere. Right? Like if I didn't have to move any hoses or, for water changes and maintenance and all that kind of stuff. Like if I didn't have to go anywhere or like get anything, like I don't think I'm going to put an aquarium in the house unless it's set up like that. And I don't think I'm going to ever put one in this house.
Well, yeah, you'd have to drag them down these killer stairs into the basement, basically.
Well, I wouldn't put one down in the basement. What are you doing? I wouldn't put one in the office down here.
No. It'd be... I guess. I don't know.
I could put like a bookshelf aquarium or something like that down here, but I'm not putting a 200-gallon aquarium down here.
You could get a little coffee tank like what I set up.
That's what I'm saying. I could do like a bookshelf tank or something like that down here, but no, I'm not.
It was specifically labeled a bookshelf tank.
Yeah, because that's what they're called.
Mm-hmm. And so I put it on top of a bookshelf.
What's happening over there?
Me?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Are you having a stroke?
No.
Oh. All right, I'm just checking.
Do I look like I'm having a stroke?
No. You're acting like something's going on. I'm like, yeah, bookshelf aquarium. You're like, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess
you mean that coffee table aquarium? No, I mean like the bookshelf. Well, it was called a bookshelf aquarium. Like, yeah, that's why I called it that.
I think I just have a case of the sillies.
All right. Well, that's okay. When there's thousands and thousands of people watching us, 72 people. Don't worry. It's only 72 people, and it will only exist.
Those are their true fans.
It will only exist forever, so don't worry.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, 72 people. Is that the true fans? No, because we have at least 81. We used to have 83 members, but we only have 81 now. I don't know who left. A couple people had to go. They didn't want to be members anymore. But we have 265 people on the Patreon. We should potentially have 265 people watching today, right?
Potentially.
Right?
I think we have a lot of people around the country or around the world.
The globe.
Yes.
The Globistan. Right?
Globistan.
The globally. What is that word? Act locally, think globally or something? What is that? That's a weird one.
I think so.
Where did the button go? I'm trying to find the button over here.
Which one?
The memberships. Yeah, we're down to 81. But we do have the patronizers, so we should have like that many people watching on Patreon, right? But we don't. They're only passively interested. Maybe they do watch later. You got a good point.
Yeah, they probably do.
Yeah, they're like watching later, like, hey, checking in.
Mm-hmm.
Alana Suki says, everyone is tired. This has been a super long week. That's a good point. It has been a long week. It's very true. I feel like I'm on the cusp of, like, I'm not contagious anymore or anything like that. But I'm on the cusp of getting better. But it just stresses me out because, like, I don't know if this ever happened to you before, but, like, you're on the cusp of feeling better, so then you start doing a ton of stuff, and then you get sick again because you, like, did too much. So I'm like, I was kind of like worried about that, but you know what I mean.
I do, actually. I know exactly what you
Right?
mean.
Because I don't want to die. And I don't want to get sick again because I've already been sick. But it has been a long week with the being sick. And my baby keeps coughing, and we keep worrying about it, and the doctors keep telling us to not worry about it. We had to take her in. Vicky took her into emergent care, and they were like, yep, she's got some phlegm and stuff, but she's just
clearing it
had
out.
that crud, and she's getting better. So it's like, okay, we're stressed out. We're geriatric parents, and we get stressed out, right?
I think all new parents get stressed out.
I think all parents get stressed out, period.
Well, yes.
The people that have kids that aren't acting like parents because they're not parents, they just happen to have kids. I think that's the distinction, right?
Yes.
Parents get stressed out. People that just happen to have kids are like, yeah, whatever. Right?
Right. The like free range parents or whatever they call them.
Right. Like they just leave them up to their own devices. Like they're orphans, but you know.
Hey, yes, I am crazy's just joined.
Oh, is that a new member?
Yeah.
Oh my god. What's up? What do we do? Is there a thing that we do?
Oh man, it's your channel.
It's my
Here, I'll do this.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I can't get mad at you on that. Let's see. There's two. One.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah. Why crazy? Thank you very much.
And I think I saw her earlier on the Discord too.
She is on the Discord,
yep.
Which I think is pretty cool because there's a lot of people out there that are like, man, we want to have like a 24-hour fish fan place or whatever, and that's the reality. Is like, well, that's kind of we did it with the Discord, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand, like a lot of people are like, dude, I don't want to do Facebook, and I can't argue with you that much if you don't want to do Facebook, because that seems to kind of only be the other option is like Facebook. And it's just, I mean, Facebook is just as toxic as the like YouTube comments or Twitter, right?
Yeah.
It's just not, and it's not working properly. It's just, the one thing is like, I feel like the Discord is like, it's quick enough to understand like people's tone. If there was like a misconnection or something on somebody's comment or whatnot, you know what I mean? That it doesn't, you know, you don't end up with these like crazy weird arguments all the time. You know what I mean? It's just people actually having a conversation and can have a different opinion and stuff like that. You
right.
know?
Right.
Uh-oh. We have a super chat. Oh my God. We better answer this. It's the first super chat we've had in a long time. Tyler Clinkscales. What's up, buddy? Says, your channel is the best. I would argue that it's not the best. But that leaves us a lot of room for improvement, right?
Yeah.
Because if this was the best, we'd be like, oh my God.
Well, we might as well just stop.
We might as well stop. We've achieved numero uno, right?
However, I appreciate the fact that you appreciate the work that is done here.
I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes. But I have to disagree in a friendly way and be like, we have so many more layers to improve, and we shall continue to improve. He says, a little off topic, what program/software do you use to edit your awesome videos? Thanks as always. You are the man. Okay. Well, hey, this is always a good topic. It's something that I work on a lot. It's something that actually Alyssa and I were actually discussing this just a little while ago. Mm-hmm. So it's not that far off from the conversation we had. Did you get a copy of?
I did.
You did? Okay.
I just haven't done anything with it.
Yeah, that's fine. But I use Vegas. Okay.
Pro.
Hold on. Vegas Pro 17. Like I use the newest iteration of Vegas video editing software. Now, there are a bunch of different editing softwares out there, whether it's Premiere, the Like I use Vegas. What's the other one? Adobe. I don't know. There's a bunch of different ones out there. I happen to use Vegas because it is like there's upsides and there's downsides to each one. So like if you're going to use Premiere, you're going to pay every month. It costs a lot of money to use a lot of the plugins and stuff like that. To utilize Vegas, one of the reasons that I like it is you buy the software and you're able to just use it pretty much indefinitely. It was originally designed by Sony, and then now a German company actually owns and operates it called Magix. And I find it to be useful because it sort of suits my old school PC using ways. But the direction that I would lead most people, that if you were going to start editing and stuff like that, what computer do you have is going to be a big deal. Do you have any experience with software already is going to be a big deal. Because if you're already trained on a specific software, then that's going to save you a lot of time, right? It's going to save you a lot of time with the learning of a whole new software if you already know where all the buttons are and all that kind of stuff. And it's going to be pretty good. But I don't like any of the programs that have the membership. I'm not a Mac guy either, so I build my own PCs. I set them all up. I operate that way. I get a lot better usage out of them, and they're much more affordable than a Mac is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So having said that, it really depends on what hardware you already have. Like, I can't remember the name. Which one is video editing Mac? MacBook. Yeah, Adobe Premiere works on Mac, and Movie Maker works on Mac. Here it is. This is what I was looking for. But most everything that I do is with Vegas, so I don't normally do the rundown on all of the other video editing stuff. So where'd that thing go? Okay. Yeah. Anyhow, I use Vegas Pro because it just works best for me, I guess. I'm trying to break it down for you, but Alyssa's just over there typing and stuff.
I am.
So it's kind of weird. But as far as the software goes, I find that Vegas works the best for me on a PC computer, and it sort of works pretty well. If you're looking for something that's like mobile, what's the name of the mobile editor? Is CineMaster, spelled like this with a K. Is probably because you can download CineMaster for free, but then it's like $40 to get the full thing for it. So if you want to do a mobile editing, that's probably the one that I would recommend. But I don't recommend mobile editing. It's just not. It's not a benefit. There's no real benefit to it. Most people are like, "Well, I'm traveling. I want to be able to like edit my vlog while I'm out traveling or whatever." And it's like, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you guys. Final Cut is what I was trying to remember. Jeez, I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Final Cut is amazing for video, but I don't have $30,000 to spend on a Mac. And believe you me, you guys, if I had $30,000 to spend on this YouTube channel, I would not spend it on one Mac. I would open up a new workspace. I would get 2 new cameras and put the rest of the money in savings because we're going to be working on projects. But yes, Final Cut is amazing. I just cannot afford a good Mac to utilize Final Cut. Like the computer I built here cost when my other computer exploded and just gave up and died. It cost me about $1,500 to build a computer here and that was about a year ago now, almost 10 months ago. And this computer is way more powerful than even the brand new Macs that are coming out. So I can't spend 30 grand on a computer. I'm sorry, guys. I don't even have that to even do. I don't even have that to be able to do that. So it wouldn't even matter anyhow.
I don't even have that in available credit.
But the on the editing your vlog mobilely, like if you're like mobilely editing, my recommendation to anybody out there, just shoot more film while you're out on the road. Shoot more scenes, shoot more B-roll, shoot more interviews, shoot more, come back and edit the rest of it at home. Or in your office or whatever. If you're out on the road shooting content, just keep shooting content. Don't worry about editing it while you're out there. Get a little container like this, right? I actually have one of them right here that you can put your SD cards in, right?
So neat and well categorized.
You can put your SD cards in a little hard case like this. Dang thing costs like $3, right? On the old Amazon, and just fill it up with SD cards, and every single day fill up every single SD card, take them out, put them in, fill them up, take them out, put them in, fill them up, just keep shooting while you're out there. Fishy Mailman says if I spent $30K on a Mac, I would probably unsubscribe. I probably would unsubscribe from myself too if I spent the 30 grand on that damn computer. And I just never would though. So, I'm just continuing on moving forward, and if somebody was to drop a $30,000 check on my table, I would do my damnedest to make that thing last a whole damn year. So, spending it all on one computer, not how I would do it, considering, I'm pushing our credit card right now. I was about to order a whole new camera today. I want to familiarize myself with a camera. I have 2 cameras that I'm going to sell that are just they're still really good cameras. They just don't do exactly what I need them to do at this point. And it really is like, after tax, it was going to be $1,600. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I should just wait and not do that. So, as much as we talk about, the Patreon and all that kind of stuff on this channel, I really am like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if we should spend that money. We might not have, bread money next month. Oh, no. How are we going to have bread? We're going to have bread, right?
I don't know. Bread's overrated. You need vegetables.
I grow those outside.
Well, there you go.
But winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
Hey, everybody. Winter is coming. How much do you think Netflix is going to pay for Game of Thrones?
Oh, jeez.
Well, now HBO has its own streaming service.
HBO Go?
HBO Go, HBO whatever. Although I do pay Amazon for my HBO service. I think it's $6.99 a month, so
really?
I can watch all the HBO stuff and I stream it over Amazon. Yeah.
Huh.
That's how I watch like John Oliver and stuff like that.
I should do that.
I find it to be pretty reasonable. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys remembered me talking. I was talking about this on the Patreon, on the Discord. So was it last weekend or the weekend before? I think it was the weekend before last. I was trying to watch the Seahawks game, and you can't get CBS off of the antenna out here anymore.
Oh.
But I'll tell you this much. If Vicky used to watch those, like, we're trying to hunt down a murderer shows all the time on CBS.
Oh. Yeah.
So I know that we used to get CBS via the antenna. But now that football is on, for some reason we can't get it over the antenna, but I just had to order CBS through Amazon because I was like, there's no way I'm skipping the Seahawks games just because now the antenna doesn't pick up CBS anymore, strangely enough.
Yeah, that is weird. Hey, it looks like Bentley's got an interview with HBO on Monday. Let us know how that goes. I hope it works out.
Have an interview with HBO?
Bentley does.
What are you doing on HBO?
Not me. Bentley does.
Yes, I understand, not you. I heard you talking, and I was like, well, what is he doing?
I think he wants to work for them.
Is he going to be a personality on HBO?
More details, please, Bentley.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, what are you doing for HBO? Like, whoa. That's pretty cool. That's why I was like, well, what's he doing? What is he doing? GH Aquatic says, I agree the architecture is different and the wiring, but for $3,000 you can get the same power that you would pay for a $9,000 in a Mac. I believe it's even more, the disparity is even further now, that to the degree of, if you built like a Ryzen computer, an AMD based computer, you probably spend $2,000, and the Mac version is probably $12,000 now. You know, considering how much like RAM and everything has come down. So, working as a tester for their streaming services, I'm gonna break their toys and get paid for it. Oh,
nice.
That's cool.
That is cool.
That is cool. I like that.
Knock wood, right?
Knock on wood. And that's real wood.
It is real wood.
Yeah, so is this.
Not this composite garbage.
All right. All right. Read some comments and answer them and stuff.
Options. Let's see. Let me scroll back up here in these comments. There were some questions. I know that Johnny Boy MC has gone to bed, but he was asking about red plants. You can always try the Alternathera Renekii. It comes in a mini version. I really like it. With highlight and CO2 and everything. My favorite red plant is the Crypt Spiralis tiger. It's kind of a purpley plant with kind of green veins going up through it. It's pretty cool. It's a nice accent plant. Also, there's I don't know if you're doing that 20-gallon cube. I'm not sure if I would put a Kleiner Prince sword in there, but they can stay pretty small if given a small enough space. It's a pretty reddish purple plant. I know there's a lot of red stem plants. And the tank died. Or the tank. The stream. My train of thought died. So let's switch. Somebody earlier was asking about my Apistos. They seem to be doing really well. I now have one extra male Apistogramma cacatoides super red that I need to figure out what to do with, because he can't just live in a 10-gallon for his whole life, sitting there all alone and lonely, because that's, what kind of existence is that? To find someone local who wants one. Yep. And what else is going on in my life? I need to make a stand.
How's the show?
Oh, I don't know. It's going okay. People aren't asking questions really, so I'm just talking about stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm answering old questions that I saw at one point fly across the screen, but it was like from an hour ago, and I don't even know if the people who asked them are still here.
Who cares? Just answer them. Like, go for it.
So I did.
Yeah. All right. Where are we at? What happened?
I was trying to think of red plants, and then I forgot the names of stem plants.
Oh.
What, Rotala and Ludwigia. They make red versions of those.
Yeah. If you were to go to the aquarium co-op, super duper. That is one of our sponsors, temporary. I guess I don't want to blow the doors off of it, but I don't know how long the affiliate is going to last. I don't know how long that they're going to be sponsoring as an affiliate, which means that if you guys go through our links, you guys do orders. I think last time I was talking to Kobe, he was thinking about making some changes to that. So shall see what happens with that. But if you guys go through there, the Scarlet Temple that's there is a really cool stem plant. It's red. It's really easy to grow. That is a perfect plant for you guys. I was actually there and helped land that plant this week. Mm-hmm. So maybe it somehow has some of my weird germs on it. I was wearing gloves, so, probably not my cold.
Just wash your hands when you unpack it. You'll be fine.
No, I didn't actually put them into the bags or anything like that. Just open up the box. It was like, ooh. Yes.
Well, see, now
the tanks.
Now the reason for people to get it, they won't be able to get all your weird germs and skin flakes. Man.
It's a good point. Like where my nose was like all dry and dying. Oh,
yeah.
My poor nose.
Maybe they wanted that. Maybe they wanted to clone Joel.
Yeah. That'd be a funny thing to do.
That would be a real interesting thing to do.
Yeah, what would be the point? What's the end game there?
Baby that was not at all you at all.
I have a baby.
I know.
Her name's Olivia.
Yeah, but it's only half you.
I guess she is only half me.
Right.
Which is
I think that's enough.
Yeah. We don't want to overcompensate, right?
Right.
Although we can make Olivia bigger. There we go. We'll put her all big up in the corner because she's so damn cute. The cutest freaking baby ever. And Vicky and I were talking today. We're gonna set up her. I was gonna call it a retirement account, but it's not a retirement account. It's her college thing. Mm-hmm. We're gonna get that rolling.
That's good.
Because she's still not a year yet, so I feel like we're not completely behind.
Right.
Right.
Right. And man, who knows how expensive college is gonna be when it finally gets up there? But shoot.
It's gonna be weird, right? I think so.
Like just start saving like $100 a week. You'll be fine.
Yeah, just $100 a week forever, and then that should hopefully be enough, right?
I hope so.
Probably not though. The way things are going. The fishy mailman bought a new Tacoma that's expensive, $35,000, but it also won't just be useless in 10 years like a Mac computer. Yeah, a new truck is pretty expensive, but it definitely is it can be a good investment if you're in the right spot. If you're somebody who buys a car and you're not in the right spot to be buying a new car, it could be really detrimental. But I really hope that just every person gets an opportunity to experience that. I never have.
To experience what?
Buying a new car.
Oh, yes. I just did recently. It's nice. Well, a year ago.
Yeah.
It feels like recently because I'm old enough that a year ago feels like it was the other day.
I don't think that I'll ever buy a new ar personally.
You don't have to.
I mean, I know. Why would I have to? Look, what am I, like, socially obligated by state law or something? Like, you have to buy a new car or we'll send you to the Gestapo or send you to the Gulag.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that in Japan, you do.
Well, Japan, Germany, you can't have a car that's over 4 years old unless you get a special license for it. Like, you can get it licensed, like, oh, I need to drive this car for a certain thing,
Mm-hmm.
but they have huge subsidies to compensate for that.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's like a $35,000 truck here would probably only be like $12,000 there because
Right.
you have a requirement to upgrade it, right?
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's one of those strange things that I thought was kind of weird when we were in Germany, because it was like, dude, what's the deal with, like, there's nothing but new cars around here. Everybody has a brand new car. Like one of the fish importer guys that was really young. He was like 23, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He basically picked me and Corey up, and we went to go like look at some fish stores and stuff. And he picked us up in like a brand new, I want to say like an Audi or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like super nice, like leather seats and stuff. And you could tell like he'd moved around like fish tanks and like dirty fish tanks and stuff in the back seat and things, right? And you're like, so it's a 23-year-old acting like it's a 23-year-old in a car,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like brand new. And I was just like, what is going on with people, like everybody having a brand new car? And then Luke Up and I were like, he was breaking it down for me and like showing me how it worked, that you couldn't have the old cars around there. And it's mainly emissions and safety. Those are the two main things, is that like you can't have the old cars because people crash, they die, you know.
It does
and
make sense.
in the U.S., it's like between 50 and 60,000 people die on the freeway every year. Right?
Yeah, it's a decently large amount of people.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and one of those things is just older cars getting in high speed crashes. You know, if you have a car like a car like mine, like a 98,
Mm-hmm.
it's certainly not going to crash the same way as a 2018, right? As far as the safety goes.
I imagine that your old giant truck is going to react differently to running into, I don't know, a semi than my little 2019 Honda Fit.
Well, that's honestly like one of the weird misconceptions, is that people think that an old car, you have a survivability because of, it's like, oh, it's heavy, like it's made of steel and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the easy way that I equate it to people. If you were wearing around a lead helmet while riding around on your bicycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Heavy, made of metal, archaic,
Yep.
right? And you wrecked and hit your head on something, what would your expectation be?
That my neck would break.
Yeah. Right? It's not going to be good. I personally have been
And also,
in
because it's lead, I would expect it to get dented, but stay like dented into my skull, and then they would have to get somebody with a torch to cut it off of me.
yeah. And I've been in some extreme bicycling accidents, some extreme two-wheel accidents. I've actually split a helmet in two in one of the wrecks I was in. And I'll tell you this much, like the plastic, the styrofoam, the technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
The helmet took the majority of the impact,
Yeah.
right? And dispersed it around. And so it's like, people will see an accident where there's like, a smart car or something like that, and there just isn't anything left of it. But they don't ever take the time to like peek in and see the driver's seat, right?
Right.
And it's like, strangely enough, there's this cocoon area where the person survived, right? And that's the survivability is the big deal, like the crumple zones, all that kind of stuff. Like the expectation is to not keep the car and have the car be in one piece. The expectation is to keep the people inside it alive, right?
Right.
So, that's the weird thing. I used to drive around a 56 Ford for years and years, and people were like, oh yeah, man, like this thing would be tough in an accident or whatnot. And it's like, the reality is like the crappy lap belt that was in there was basically like a burlap, it was basically like a burlap rope, and when you get in a wreck, like all of that inertia and everything was just carried with the car, and you're probably gonna like the dash in my 56 was steel, right?
Oh, jeez.
Like, do you think if you came in contact with that dash, like it was gonna go anywhere? With your like human fleshy body made out of meat and weak bones, like do you think the steel was gonna like, oh, I'm like a pillow now? All of a sudden, it's like no, you just get smushed and die,
No,
So
I got my airbags and
yeah. So that's the thing. That's kind of the big deal with that. Chat Kratz with a $5 super chat with a donation for the Corvus Oscen spinoff weekend with the Bentleys. I mean, if it's gonna be like Weekend at Bernie's, who's gonna act like they're dead the whole time?
You.
Me?
Yeah, obviously.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I could go for that.
We'll just
That sounds
up
good.
some pulleys.
I could just be floppy. I could just be floppy all weekend while you guys film and
Talk
get
about
into
stuff.
get into hijinks, antics, shenanigans. Right? I get into that. Big D Smoke with a $10 super chat for Olivia's college fund donation. Oh, thank you very much. I will figure out how much YouTube takes out of that and put that into the after that, right?
Yep.
Warren Williams
like
says, "Oh
$7.
dang, still live. I didn't miss the whole thing." Well, apparently, yeah, you didn't miss the whole thing.
Yeah, we're still here.
Yeah, we're still here
And
for
alive.
a little bit. Not too long though.
No.
My best friend had one. He paid $4 for the paint job back in 1996. I don't know what you're talking about.
Cars.
Kiwi Mamo says, "Really? My new to me car is a 2001, 18 years old. I upgraded from a 1991. Yeah. Sharpies, models, and aquatics. The classic cars in the UK are exempt from road tax." Well, that seems weird. You should still pay road taxes, especially if you have an old jalopy flopping down the road, ruin the pavement, right?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's something to be said for like a classic car that's actually well maintained and is only brought out once in a while for car shows.
They rot. That's the
But-
problem, though.
Yeah.
That's the big problem people don't realize with classic cars. So one of the things that they tested was the environmental damage produced by a classic car just sitting, right? There's actually more emissions typically from a classic car just sitting than a brand new car that's actually running. That's actually like has the engine turned on and shit.
Yeah.
Just because of the old rubber, all the old, there's just a lot of old stuff, and a lot of emissions come from those cars. They just really do. I mean, it's just a reality, I don't think that people really understand or even acknowledge like the environmental impact of having burned leaded gas for so many years.
Yeah.
Gasoline had lead in it. Like, we know that paint that has lead in it is a problem because sometimes it could get into somebody's mouth, like a baby, like this baby up here. Right? It's not necessarily the lead from the paint just sitting on something. It's just that lead could get into somebody's mouth, and it causes severe brain damage. And we were burning it into the air for, 70 years, 80 years? Up until, 1984 or something like that?
Something like that.
I'd have to look it up. I think 83 maybe. But that's like 70, 80 years we were burning leaded gas and putting lead into the air, right?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of one of those things. Yeah, that even those old cars are they're still causing a problem, and they, but yes, people should restore them and they should maintain them and that kind of stuff. Just if you have a car that you have no intention on ever driving it or whatever, just drain all the fluids out of it and stuff and maintain it that way. It's just going to be a lot easier.
Yeah, set it up as a museum piece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Museum piece it, clean it up, take care of it. And I'm all in favor of that. I just think the downside is just letting those old cars rot. Not only is it emotionally sad, but it's also pragmatically sad where you're like,
Isn't there a car museum here in Tacoma?
Mm-hmm. Tacoma Car Museum. It's right down the road. It's awesome, actually. It's pretty fun to go to.
There's an idea.
Yeah. What if the Tacoma Car Museum's open? You should go.
Yeah.
Take your man on a man date and talk about muscle cars. Muscle cars. Oh.
I don't know if he would like that. I'll have to ask him.
He might.
You never know.
There's a bunch of cool little restaurants and stuff down there, too. It's down by the water. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's romance. You guys will have so much romance. What's the weather like? Let's see.
I don't know. Cloudy and rainy?
Probably. Tomorrow, 70 and partly sunny. Oh, my gosh.
Oh. Sounds pretty nice.
Well, partly cloudy.
That's okay. That means that we can both
Sunday, rain. Yeah, so you're going to have to Netflix and chill on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only option. It's the only viable option.
Yep.
Yep.
You like sun, I like rain and clouds. So it works out.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So someone's happy.
All the time.
Sometimes. Right?
Somebody's always happy.
Let's see. Where did my control panel go? There it is. Okay. What did I do? I did something weird here. Oh, okay. 32 likes. That's it today. One new member. Our concurrent viewers right now, we're down to 57, so maybe we're just not doing that good. Oh, no. But I love having Alyssa on here, and I'm going to have her on the show as much as we possibly can. And you know what? If that makes you crazy, I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Right?
It's fun. I like you guys.
Yeah. So we'll keep doing the Discord. We'll keep doing the Patreon. We'll keep doing the memberships. We'll keep doing the blah, blah, blah. And who's the super chatters today? Big D Smoke, Rumbust, Chad Kratz, and I think there was another one. Tyler Clinkscales. Thank you very much, you guys. I very much appreciate it. All the contributions and everything do not fall on deaf ears. They fall on my wide open, gigantic ears. I don't know if you've ever noticed how big they are, but I can totes have gratitude for you guys because my ears are big enough in order to handle that weight, right? So that's what's going on. What's happening in the future? I don't know. We might never know because we're weird. And